Welcome back to the channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this afternoon is my official Manly Warringah Seagulls season review for 2024. So obviously every year I review Manly season, good or bad, which thankfully this year was good. So yeah, a lot of positive things to say, but there'll also be other things I'll talk about from a personal level and just about the team, and a couple of other pointers that I will discuss during the video as well. But yeah, obviously going to go into depth about the season it was, the positives and negatives, the best wins and losses and whatever. And yeah, like it's just going to be a whole general talk about Manly and just like where things can improve, where things can definitely be better at come 2025. So it's all going to be a mix of things, but yeah, definitely as the video goes on, you'll see the sections of where I'm talking about and what type of things I'm speaking on with Manly. But as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Do appreciate once again all the new support and the subscribers. Current goal is currently 4,750 subscribers, so only about another couple of subs away from 4,750. So yeah, should get there by the end of the week. But without further ado, this is my Manly review. So it'll go for about half an hour, I reckon, but it's all worth it. If you're a Manly fan, sit back and enjoy. But if you're a neutral watching, then do your best. But here we go. Okay, so nice and positive to start off the review. So look, with the positives for Manly this year. So obviously making the 8 is one positive. Like I think after how we went last year and not making the 8 the year before in 22, I think 2024 we had to make it no matter what. Otherwise, certain things would have fallen into place and it wouldn't be good stuff. But yeah, making the 8 was a huge positive this year. I think the team we've got has always been a top 8 quality team. It just consistency has probably costed us in the past and injuries and whatever. But I think this year the team got it right, and you can see by the results that we've gotten this year that yeah, we've gone to a part of the season, or part of, I guess, yeah, as a growing part of the team, we've really come a long way. So it's good to see that the boys have really put the effort in this year and really came into season 2024 with such a I guess a motivation to get better and a motivation to like keep on improving and whatever, because I know there's still growth in the team, but compared to what we were last year, and I guess yeah, how we sort of let games blow out so much, considering that our biggest loss this year is only by 20 points, it's quite good actually. And of course I was in the last round against the Sharks, but still, all year I feel like Manly were always in a game. Like there's never been a time where I don't think Manly were in the game. You can argue maybe against Rabbitohs during that Origin affected game at O'Call Stadium, that really wet game I was at. That was a terrible game, but we lost by 14, lost 14-0, but I still felt like we were a chance in that game. So you get what I mean. I think all year Manly have been very competitive. I think the coaching staff and the Seabs have to get a lot of credit for that, because some clubs, and I think most clubs, let like a 50-40 point buffer, affect them in one game. And thankfully for Manly, like we've had 40 put in us once this year. That was to the Sharks in the last round again. But all year we've been really in games and we've been really fighting. And I think once we keep fighting, and if we keep showing that fight next year, we'll be where we are again, I reckon, hopefully better. But yeah, I think that's a big part of the reason why we've been so good this year, showing fight, showing courage, and just overall competing. And I think once you start competing every game, then a mentality grows that you can go with the best clubs and really get results that you can get. And while Manly have not been perfect, no, there's no way that they've been perfect. But they've been really, really fight. They really fight hard, and they really, do give it a good shake. I guess again, errors and discipline can definitely cost us, but the fight is really visible in that Manly team. So really, I think that's definitely gotten us to the 8 this year. A big part of the reason why we've made the 8. I guess a few other positives are that, well, the spine's been consistent for once. Obviously this year we've lost Lachlan Croker for a long period of time, and obviously Croker is our full-time 9, and he's a real steal in that team. Like his defense makes the whole Manly team a lot more safer in the middle. But yeah, I think we've definitely covered Croaks very well this year. Once Carl Lawton replaced him at hooker for a bit around the middle of the season, I just wasn't too sure about it. But then when Manly signed Jake Simkin from the West Tigers, I thought he did an exceptional job, and I can't understand why he got dropped after that Roosters game back in round 21, but I guess he's more of a 2025 player. But yeah, came mid-season and did not disappoint in my opinion. So, but look, when I say our spine was consistent, I mean we mostly had Brooks and Cherry Evans play together. Brooks missed 0 games compared to when we've had a different 5'8" previously. There's always been a big shake-up in the halves that hasn't helped Daly's game. So I think for Ches to finally have a 5'8" who can get through every game without many injuries, and Brooks has never been an injury type of player, so that's why it's such a blessing to have a player that doesn't get injured often and has a great ability to play well. So that's really helped us just keep the consistency up as well. And I know Turbo's been injured, but like this year we've had backups. Like Cola's been a great backup. Lee Hyperwide deserves a lot of credit for the year he's had. Like he's only 18 years old playing as well as he has. Like, you know, he plays like a veteran. And yeah, that's what everyone says because he plays so smart and plays with a lot of sense. And yeah, I'm expecting Lehigh to keep growing by next year as well. But you know, obviously the fullback position, the hooker position's been changed up a lot. But I just think the spine has really worked well together, and I think Brooks and DC have really kept that core group really tight. And that's why our attack's been good all year. Because say Brooks got injured, we'd definitely struggle with just having Ches as our halfback guiding everything, and Turbo can only do so much. So yeah, I think Brooks and Cherry Evans as a combo being so consistent and always not missing games, them two in particular, it helps a lot with just the organisation overall and whatever, and especially come game day. But yeah, look, I'd say Manly season has full of positives. Just playing for the jersey, playing for the area. I think that the club now knows what the actual area means to them and how passionate the fans are, because we as fans obviously want to see the best for Manly no matter what. Obviously the fans love their footy, and it's been a tough couple of years for us Manly fans, but to see Manly play as well as they have this year, especially back at Brookie as well, where we've only lost 1 game at Brookie all year. Sorry, 2 games against Canberra and Sharks. But so the love for the club is now getting recognised by the players, and the players now know what it means to put on a Manly jersey and what that sort of rectifies and whatever. So I feel like that's a big part of the reason why we've been so good yet again. But that's my positives for Manly. Okay, now the negatives. So look, there's not many negatives at all because Manly had a great season, and obviously positives really do fill up how good our season was. But look, if there's negatives to talk about, it's probably the amount of leads we dropped, like having so many big leads this year, where I feel like if most of those were converted to wins, I reckon we'll be a lot higher up in the ladder. But I think that's one negative. I feel like our defence this year has also been quite poor, I guess you can say. It got better towards the back end of the year, but at the start, I feel like conceding 30 points, 20 points per game was just not good enough at all. But yeah, I think just back on the topic of dropping leads, yeah, that's definitely a big one because we seem to go all in at the start. Like that seems to be like a mentality thing. Go all in at the start and really really go in with an intent to start well and really rattle the other side. Then by half time or just before half time, we seem to lose track of the game and seem to puff out really quickly. Now, that's also a fitness issue, I reckon, as well, because we shouldn't be puffing out as quick as we do before half-time or during the game. And that's when the other team comes back and wins from behind. I noticed that against the Dolphins this year in round 9 or 10 when we played up in Brisbane. That itself really just, it was a good example of that because we literally started the game off, what was it, 18 to like 6 or something, 18-4, I can't remember, but we had a good lead. And the Dolphins scored like 2 tries in like inside 2 minutes before half time. And yeah, that's crazy. Like that sort of stuff just, is not acceptable, I reckon. And the game against Canberra at Brookie, that one was terrible. We were like leading 20-0 at one point, I think 20-0, and lost the game like 28-24 right in the last minutes of the game. Against Parramatta too, led 14-4 in round 3, lost 28-24 as well. yeah, and like, you know, I don't know, it's been some funny games like that this year, like against the Warriors too, where we should have won that game. That should have not have been a draw. I'm glad it was a draw because I feel like Manly were the better side in that game against the Warriors back in round 5. That game was actually round 5. But yeah, no, we should have been a lot. We should have won that game as well. Like we're leading, like yeah, good lead by about 10 points or something, and had a draw 22-all. So again, that's another one. But against Tigers as well in round 25. So look, obviously dropping big leads has been a concern for Manly this year. I hope that gets addressed for next year and gets fixed up, because I do feel like you know, if we keep doing that and that does continue for next year, then yeah, we're going to have a lot of well, yeah, a lot more losses, I reckon, because I feel like most teams are getting better. Teams are evolving. We can't afford to drop our guards and feel like a 16-4 or like an 18-10 lead is going to give us the win. No, it's not, because unless it's 5 to go or like a minute to go till full time, that's when we know we're going to win the game and we have a good enough lead. Not when it's 18 points to 6 or something and about 5 minutes till half time and not put the cue in the rack. No, that's the issue for me. We seem to just drop our guard and think that all is well when it's a lead, a pretty fair lead for us, when it's not even full time yet. So I want the players to like understand that a game. Yeah, I mean, they know if it goes for 80, obviously, like they know that, but I just want to know and hope they understand that, yeah, we can't just drop our guard like that. Like, we start well, but then we can't drop away from that. If we're going to go in with intent, we go in with intent, not to ever slow that down. So, yeah, that's one thing for sure. I hope we fix next year. But back to the defense part. Well, yeah, I think in the opening 5 games of the year, we conceded 20 points, over 20 points, about three or two times, I think. Against Rabbitohs in Vegas, we did. Round 2 against Roosters, we didn't. Round 3 against Para, we did. That was twice in 3 rounds. We've conceded 20 points. Round 4 against the Dragons, yep, we did. Round 5 against the Warriors, yeah, we did. So we conceded about, yeah, in the opening 5 weeks of the season, over 4 times we've been conceded 20 points in 5 rounds. So yeah, that's not good enough at all. You know, that's like concerning at the very least. But as I said, our defense has improved a lot this year. Like, not at the start, obviously, but more towards the back end of the year. I felt like we really put our best defensive efforts in. But even then, like, I feel like we sometimes have a real purpose in our defense for some games, and there's some games where I feel like, oh, we're gonna slack off and just like not really put the amount of effort in defense that we probably should be putting in. So yeah, a bit of a mentality thing, I think, as well in our defense, and I can recognise that and maybe sort of tackle sometimes or whatever. But yeah, I guess if that sort of stuff can get fixed in the off season around our consistency in defence and whatever, then we're a better shot for next year, I reckon. So that's the only negatives I've got. Is the Manly DNA coming back to the club? So obviously this year we've seen, I guess, the whole Manly faithful, like the fans, get behind the club so much this year, and the love for the club so visible now, and yeah, it makes you question if the actual DNA has returned to the club. And I certainly feel like it has. I certainly feel as though, yeah, the passion has returned to Manly. Like, I'm talking as if like the fans turn up at Rookie no matter what, because we've sold out every home game but one, and that was in the wet too. And I imagine if that game was not wet against Canberra, that would sell out. And it was still a pretty good crowd as well. I think 10,000 turned up despite the rain on a 6 p.m. Friday night game. So that there shows the commitment of the fans. But yeah, like, I think the DNA is returning. Like, I haven't really felt this way about Manly in a long time. And I probably can't remember like the last time Manly felt so like dominant in terms of like home crowds and we're getting, and just overall the turnouts Manly are getting. Because you go to Canberra, like I've been to this year, you go to Gold Coast, you go to Brisbane for Magic Round, all Manly fans are there. Like, there's a lot of Manly fans that do travel, and yeah, I mean, to me that we don't travel, like, that's such a rubbish bloody thing. But we do travel. That's been proven right across our away games as well as our home games this year too. We're always at our home games, obviously, but I'm talking as in away. Like, we've always showed up against Bulldogs twice at a call. Our Manly fans sold out both away bays. Even against the Roosters, the away bay was sold out too. And, we lost that game, obviously, but, like, again, proves that we do travel. So, yeah, and I think what also helps that the fans are now engaged with the club, what also helps is the Manly Mentality episodes, I reckon, because late last year when those came out, that was a purpose to really bring the love back to the Northern Beaches area and really make Manly look important coming to the new year. I reckon that was the whole point of it, and to really just, I guess open up on a new era, because we've released a new logo this year, and so far we've made the finals with this logo, so that's pretty good strike rate. But yeah, I feel like that's also really helped bring the love and engagement to the club again, like those Manly Mentality episodes. And I love those, I love them. Obviously people are not Manly fans criticise them, but who cares? I mean, it brought an insight to what Manly do, and it brings an insight to how the pre-season looked. In the past, Manly fans have not been able to get access as good as that, in the past. And I think most fans would agree with me, because we've never really seen anything like that before, like a series of Manly training in the off-season and what they're trying to build towards and whatever. So it was good to see for the very first time that we got that. And I must say, it was impressive, because the media team for Manly did such a good job. They deserve a lot of credit, the Manly media team. Do some great things on Instagram and all across socials. So big ups to them. But yeah, I think just those episodes, and obviously that's helped with the fans turning up to Manly games and whatever. But yeah, you can just tell that there's a lot more love with Manly again, and there's a lot of importance, So that's always a big thing for us too. But yeah, I certainly reckon the DNA returning well and truly is. All right, ranking our signings for this year. So, look, I'm going to talk about our new pickups for this year and what kind of difference it brought to the club. So, at first, I guess we were all very judgmental on a lot of signings, including Lou Brooks, and I was too, don't worry, I'll admit that. But you can see how different these players look in a Manly jersey. Like, you look at last year, Brooks was not really going anywhere with the West Tigers. Like, he was trying his guts out, but literally wasn't doing much at the Tigers. Tommy Salau was literally a fringe first grader last year at the Tigers, and it didn't look like he was going to kick on most fought. Nathan Brown was literally ready for retirement, and no one wanted to give him a lifeline. Matt Lodge was the same. He was, just, I guess, moving around club to club, not really getting much attention. Yeah, but like all our signings this year, they've all been so good. Like, I can't think of a bad signing so far that's come to Manly. Like, every pickup we've made so far since heaps has come to the club have all done really well, I reckon. Even Corey Waddell, I know he's not the biggest signing, but he's putting in some good efforts this year, I reckon. He's really gave it a dig this year, I reckon, being back at Manly. Talau has been huge for us. Like, I've always seen his potential. It's just that he needed a change of club. And at Manly, he's just absolutely killed it. And he's a mainstay in our backline now. I cannot move him from our backline no matter what. Brooksy's brought a real point of difference to our attack. And yeah, I said it before. Him and DC rarely ever injured. Both quite fit players. And that's why we've been so successful this year off the back of their attack and what they bring to the team. So, Brooksy's really thrived in a new environment. I think we all sort of thought that he would, and he has. And it's a move that's definitely worked out in his favour really well. So I'm really proud of him, actually, and I love having Brooks at our club. I can just see him going a lot better for next year as well, with knowing the team a bit more now. Nathan Brown's just been such a... Yeah, he's made a name for himself, back fence Brown, but yeah, he's tough. Brings a lot of aggression to our forward pack. I can see the improvement of Paseka, Olakawatu, and Aloye as well, because of his input and what kind of toughness he brings. Not the biggest bloke in the world, not the biggest front rower or the strongest, but runs like a cheater. He tries to, at least with his runs and whatever. But yeah, he's a very gutsy player, very tough, and definitely. It's never backwards for Brown, never backwards. It's always forwards. So that's definitely a player that I want in the Manly team. And yeah, he's definitely our version of like a real impact player. So yeah, glad to have Brownie at the club. Matt Lodge has been a good pickup too. Definitely brought a lot to us. I know he could be leaving, but man, he's been a great pickup for us. And he's tried his guts out as well. Very experienced front rower, and he's really brought grit and a lot of steel to our team, I feel like, on different occasions. Last year and this year, last year played like 2 games, but been quite good overall. But yeah, all these signings were made, obviously Manly have never really been big on recruitment, not for a while anyway, but making all these signings recently, we've just really got a good new feel of talent in the team, and that will grow. They'll keep growing, and if all these new signings can contribute to us making the finals for the first time in a couple of years, then yeah, I'm excited for what's to come next year. Now, it's my only fear that second-year syndrome comes into place for 2025, but I want to know how Manly build on such a good season for 2024 and make 2025 even better. So, look, obviously, the positive is most of our squad's the same. Obviously, we're losing Humphreys, Lorden, lost Schuster already, but we've lost not much players for next year. Our squad's mostly the same, and that will only bring a bit more connection and bring a bit more, I guess, intent for what we can do, because we've made the 8 already with that crop of players, and I'm sure that they'll definitely continue for next year, because it feels like every year Manly have a big loss every single year, and then things change all of a sudden. I know in 21 we had a great year, and in 22 not much losses apart from, who did we lose after 21? Sully, Guzevsky, like those losses weren't that big, but I don't know, that's the only worry with Manly. Like, they have a good year this year, the next year they drop off and don't play with the same. But look, I think we'll be right next year, because I do like how Manly are building, and ever since Siege has come and all these other changes have happened, we've been only getting better, I reckon. The whole club seems to be growing, and it seems to have an idea where they want to go, which I feel like is very important, because we're actually aspiring to become something and aspiring for long-term success, which is what all the important club members have already said and openly have gone about. Like Tony Mestroff, for example, the CEO, he's wanting to make Manly, not Blacktown, not Blacktown workers getting involved anymore. Like, I know Blacktown workers were a great servant for our reserve grade side for a long time and actually gave us some alright players, but look, we need to be Manly only. Our junior systems will all be Manly focused going forward, and so will our reserve grade side. They'll be renamed back to Manly Warringah Eagles. So, so we're definitely getting things together. We're definitely feeling like Manly again, and we're definitely making moves that only make us positive going forward and make the team better overall. So, I do feel like next year's a big year. I haven't really gone on records to gloat about it and whatever, but I am quite excited about next year. I have a good feeling next year is going to be a big year. I can actually see a lot of positives happening next season. I just see that year being where Manly really explode and really do find that potential in that team that's burning but hasn't been exposed yet. And I feel like next year we're going to finally see that, and I do reckon we're a dark horse to go all the way next year. I know anyone will say that, and we'll say that before the season does start again, but from a true fan's perspective, I reckon 2025 will be a big year, and I'm actually really excited for what's going to happen next year. I'm very confident it's going to be good. But what do you reckon? And thank you all for sitting through this review. I know it's quite a long one, but I hope you all enjoyed either way. And hopefully a big year for Manly to come. But thank you for watching and enjoy. Thank you.